Hello everyone.
Hi Diksha,
Greetings for the day. Hey Ashish, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. How about
Okay,
you?
very well, thank you. All set for the day?
Yeah, let's get started.
Hello everyone. Hello participants. Greetings for the day. Root Mobile family hopes that you and your family are safe during the COVID times. My name is Deeksha Yadav. I'm product manager from Root Mobile's end, and I'll be your host for the day. Along with me, we have guest of honor Ashish Mittal, product partner from Google team. I'd like Ashish to quickly introduce himself to you all.
Yeah, hi, thanks Diksha for having me on the call and really excited to be here talking about RCS and rich business messaging. Hello everyone, my name is Ashish Mittal. I work in partnerships role at Google and my focus is to build strategy and drive market development for Google's communication products in India. I'm personally very excited about the possibility that RCS business messaging brings both for users in terms of delightful contextual conversations, but also the value it can create for our carrier partners, messaging partners such as Route Mobile and brands.
Okay. Um, we are happy to have you here with us. Now, we'd quickly like to introduce Root Mobile to you. Just a quick introduction about who we are. So, we were founded in 2004 with our corporate headquartered in Mumbai, India. We are a leading cloud communication platform and have a high market share across various industry segments. We have 15 plus offices in Dubai, London, US, Africa, Uganda, Singapore, Bangladesh, etc. And almost around more than 25,000 plus clients globally for FMCG, BFSI, e-commerce, media, government agency, etc. And we recently got listed into IPO, so yeah, that's one of the achievement for us. Talking about the evolutionary timelines for messaging, SMS has come a long way since the first message in 1992 was sent over Vodafone network and the message text was Merry Christmas. Here, and since then, we've seen a lot of changes, including the businesses adopting SMS as their communication channel. Then we saw the emergence of social networking sites, which allowed users to communicate over the internet. Followed by this came an era of modern messaging channels, giving a large push to P2P and business communication. We've also seen SMS using smart links to redirect users to microsites as messaging clients started supporting HTML. Times have evolved, and now we have the right kind of handsets and connectivity, giving new paths and ways to RCS. Here, we not only have embedded richer features, but we are also getting the security of SMS. Now, how SMS has stood the test of the time of the test. Now, SMS has continued to be effective for a very long time. Sending bulk SMS is quick and easy, just like sending an email. Now, you can simply write down what you want to say, and it will be sent to your client in a matter of seconds. While email marketing also shares the benefit of being cost effective and instant, SMS marketing enjoys a higher open rate, which is likely to increase conversation rates as a result. The reduced number of characters available in a text also allows you to be clear and concise with what you need to say and won't put off your customers with large amounts of text. Here are a few stats to support. Email has an average response rate of 12%. However, the read rates in SMS is almost around 98%. The open rate in SMS is nearing 90%, while in email, we see on an average 18 spam messages per day. Call centers have a massive cost as compared to these mediums of communication, and only 3% of the users enjoy using IVR. I'm sure this gives you a lot of insights on SMS popularity. Now, RML texting redefined. So, keeping SMS as our base, we know that the changing ecosystem is seeing a change in communication too. The consumers today prefer more conversation and personalized message from brands. Bringing the essence of chat to your regular text is our RCS business messaging. The RBM, which is Rich Communication Service Business Messaging, upgrades SMS with branding, rich media, interactivity, and analytics. With RBM, businesses can bring branded and interactive mobile experiences right to the default messaging app. I'd like to talk about few features of RBM as you see on the screen too. Now we can get higher customer engagement rate. It replaces SMS for transactional communication. Then there is no need of really downloading any other application. On your native SMS application, you'll be able to see RCS messages as well. Two-way communication is supported. You have a chatbot that you can integrate with the system. So the bot is always available for you to revert to your questions. And in addition to that, if you want, you can also integrate contact centers. Now, this will really reduce the cost of how many employees you want to have in contact centers as well. We support fallback to multiple channels such as GBM, WhatsApp Business, Viber businesses, regular A2B SMS, etc. Messaging format is standard across all mobile phones. So yes, the look and feel could be richer and could be uniform for all the users. All in all, RBM has a global reach and a better substitute for OTT channels is what we feel. Now, talking about the positioning of RBM, in this light, let's hear from our Google expert on what RCS is and how is it different from regular customer texting. To you, Ashish.
Thanks, Diksha. I think you have captured most of the points of what's the proposition like on RBM. And I think from our aspect, the way RBM is positioned, it builds upon a secular consumer trend which was existing for a while, but in a way has been aggravated in 2020, right? Now all of us know how precious our times are, right? And at the same point of time, as an end user, we continue to hear back from brands through various channels, right? And the velocity continues to increase. Even from India context, we have seen that the overall volumes on SMS, they have grown multifold during the pandemic times because SMS has emerged as a very preferred platform of choice for many brands for various use cases, right? But at the other end of the spectrum, as end users, we are all becoming extremely selective. We don't want loud messages shouting through the noise. We want relevant information as end users, and we want it at the moment of need, and that too from a preferred channel. And customers today have learned, right? We all have learned to ignore, block, or delete interruption messaging because it is end of the day just that, it's interruption, right? And this in a way leads to a diminished returns for the brands because when they are trying to reach out to consumers to drive certain actions, if consumers are increasingly ignoring those messages, it becomes challenging. So what has happened is essentially customers, as you pointed out, have clearly started to want to shift to a two-way dialogue-based platform instead of a one-way broadcast, and this channel, and they are looking for even possibilities where customers have choice, right? Customers have choice that if I want to receive a message from a particular brand, it's not just that I want to receive that message, but which kind of message do I want to receive? That choice I should be able to enforce, right? And RBM as a channel, we believe can help navigate through this transformation. RBM is built on the strengths of existing channels, and it offers tools and capabilities both to the marketers and brands, but also to consumers to enable their choices, right? And for last 2 years, we have worked with the ecosystem, including carriers, with device makers to provide chat services in Messages, which is the native messaging client on Android, which is based on Open Rich Communication Services standard. It is a GSM-based standard. So we have worked with the ecosystem to develop that. And in fact, we have just announced last month launch of RCS, global rollout for RCS across all countries, including India. So today, if any user who wants to access RCS, if they have an Android device, they can either directly upgrade their messages app, or they can download it from the Play Store and turn the chat features on, and that's about it. Then they are connected to the RCS, and they can use the benefits of it.
Oh, wow, it's amazing to know that RCS is launched globally now. That's a really good news for us, and a recent insights that you've shared with us. Thank you for letting us know about it. Okay, so keeping that as base now, let's see how RBM is modernizing traditional SMS. So what we've seen is that on an average, a person almost spends, say, approximately 3 to 4 hours on their social media and messaging. And when you calculate it over a week, it almost goes to 24 hours, which means one full day in a week is something that we, are glued to on social media or on our phones or on messaging applications. Not just this, the ease of internet access and the number of social media users in India are more than 400 million in 2020. And not just this, a research says that it is expected to be almost 448 million users in 2023. And not just this, with recent developments, there was a report by BBC which says it was launched in March 2019, and it says that that India has the cheapest mobile brand prices in the world. Also, India has adopted recommending strong backing net neutrality that experts say could be the strongest in the world. Knowing all of these, we are leveraging SMS and we are leveraging SMS plus the power of internet and making due to the robust security and enterprise preference, utilizing RCS platforms like two-factor authentication and OTP. Uh, with all of this, we are creating a complete chat experience for audiences utilizing traditional messaging embedded with rich feature capabilities. Okay, so we've talked so much about how SMS has been enhanced and how RCS is giving a better and a richer look and feel. So talking few things about the features of RBM. So I believe you all might be excited to know what RBM has in kitty to offer. With RBM, you get branding with your brand name, logo. Along with that, you get a verified center tick mark authenticating your business. We can share multimedia files such as audio, video, images, and PDF files over RCS. So giving an example of BFSI industry, you can use RBM for sending statements to all your customers directly in their default SMS inbox. Not just this, you can send text messages, but unlike SMS, the amazing thing about RCS is that you have an embedded image or video in it. RBM is also used to push notifications such as OTP, QR code or tickets, boarding passes, offers, product details, and maybe catalogs too. Brands can also integrate their e-commerce website and showcase the product in carousels. Having named a few, but there are many more use cases which can be implemented here. Along with this, you can send suggested replies, so users do not need to type in anything. They just click on the suggested replies and the reply gets posted automatically. Also, there is suggested actions capability that RCS provides, where you can embed any phone number, URL, maps, or calendar. Not just this, these were few things for notifications, but however, RCS is also built for two-way communication. Here's where chatbot can be integrated to converse with your customers. Your banking use case could be customers checking their bank balance or asking for an account statement, doing bill payments. You probably might know that RCS is supporting payments too. So not just this, in case if your customer wants to coordinate with the brand's customer support team, that is also possible. Yes, you've heard it right. Bot to agent chat transfer is possible over RBM, and that's the beauty of it. Now let's get some insights on how can we have a better engagement rate and higher response rate with RBM. Did you know that there was a study done by Samsung on RCS and the results? Hey, so I see a poll that's coming up. Request all of you all to engage with the poll and let us know your thoughts over here. Thank you for people who've participated in the poll. Continuing back to, there was a study that was done by Samsung on RCS, and the results showed how impactful suggested replies are. There are there were almost 64% who actually clicked on the suggested replies, 2% who responded to the image sent by the bot, and 34% responded to the image sent as a text message. This helps brands engage with their customers and increase the conversation rate as well. Now, talking about the need of an R for Indian market, looking at the feature sets, we've understood how rich communication has become is because of RCS as the protocol. Let's hear it from Ashish. What is his opinion on why RBM is the need of R for Indian market? Over to you, Ashish.
Thanks, Diksha. I think when you pointed out the features, right?
Yeah.
Looking at all the features can get a bit overwhelming. So I can share a quick context and I can talk more about the detail from an India standpoint. But one interesting insight that we picked up when we did one of our pilot campaigns with one of the brands in India was that first time that they sent out the RB message, and after that they interacted with the customer and tried to understand what was the feedback. The most insightful thing that came back was that, this is my preferred service provider, and they have been sending me messages for last 10 years. But this is the first time that I was able to send back something to the service provider and got a response back. So that ability for a customer to do that, and the fact that customers were able to discover it intuitively using features like suggested replies, and because, as you mentioned, there's an ability for chatbot to be enabled, that just shows that India as a market, users are pretty comfortable and already equipped with messaging as an interface for not just messaging among ourselves, but also with engaging with brands, right? And as an end user, India is pretty unique in a way that we have multiple inboxes, message inboxes that we use. And we have done researches in which we have seen that it's not that SMS is not used by users as it is in other markets. It is slightly used in a different fashion, right? So one proof of the fact is that almost 87% of the users, as per the research, have their SMS notifications enabled. And the reason is they still consider messages being received from businesses being extremely useful. So whether it is a transactional alert, whether it is a verification message, right? These are all things which simplify life for end users. But at the same point of time, they have some concerns. First concern is the ability to go through the messages to find useful information. And secondly, the lack of trust or safety features which are there on SMS to know whether the message is coming from the right source or not. Right? So that is where we think that from end user standpoint, RBM solves those end users' need. Secondly, if you look at the other end of the spectrum, which is brands, they also are challenged in their ability to innovate, right, on SMS as a channel, because they have an increasing set of digitally literate users who expect a certain quality of communication from that brand, right? And doing that communication on SMS with the technical restrictions is challenging, right? So for them to be able to drive higher actions as they get from other channels, they feel that RBM is a good channel for that. And we are already seeing signs with our early access program with brands for RBM, using which we have started pilots with India as well. And both customers as well as brands have given us quite a positive results. Brands are using RBM in India for various things, whether it is for status updates, feedback to customer service, all within the native messaging experience on Android. that makes it quite compelling for users in India.
Okay, that's really amazing to know. We'd quickly move on to few insights on what is the upcoming rollout that you all are planning and any future expansion plans that you all have. Because we know that RBM traffic is on track to reach almost 415 billion messages by 2025, and an increase of almost around 2,500 percentage is something that we'd be seeing around that point in time. According to the Juniper's research, substantial growth in RCS is being driven by the increasing popularity of CPaaS, that is communication as a platform services amongst brand and enterprises. Ashish, how about you share some insights on how users will respond to this next generation texting? What is your meaning Google's plan for upcoming rollout, and what is the future expansion plan?
So I think one thing to notice is for us, RBM, we are extensively working with the ecosystem to bring this product to market. And the fact that we have launched this service globally across all markets is a testament of that. And even not just on RCS, even on RBM, we'll continue to work with the ecosystem to make sure that service is commercially available for users as soon as possible. And in terms of the feature sets, I think as per whatever researches that we have done, consumers already appreciate and are continue to be amazed by the features that are present on the platform, whether it is functionalities like ability to send a carousel, whether it is things like suggested replies, all happening natively in the default messaging client. That just makes it magical for users. What we've seen in terms of early results are, I think we can look at some of the success stories that we've had with few other brands. So for example, we can talk about one fintech brand, which is focused on delivering customized financial products in India. And even when they shifted over from SMS to a simple image-based RCS campaign without too much of complexity of having a conversational commerce or all those functionalities added in, just sending an SMS instead of they send an image, just by that switchover, they were able to get almost 130% higher click-through rates, which just shows that what's the power of having a trusted name, your logo, which leads to higher open rates, leads to higher engagements, and end of the day, finally higher conversions, right? So I think we have good proof points which are already coming into picture, which is all pointing to the fact that product is finding value for users and consumers.
Okay, that's really good to know. Now, talking about what is the scope of integration with other Google products like Google Business Messaging, and what is the future here? Because what we've seen is that to engage better, they've been very inquisitive about a formal entry point or maybe agent discovery option, or for users to start a conversation with RBF platform, and things like that. And not only this, to our knowledge, currently there is no interlinking between Google products like RCS and Google Business Messaging. And we all know the importance of Google Business Messaging and the role it plays in driving conversations, locating your stores and footfalls. And considering the platform's reach, it can unlock better opportunities for the brands. That's what our opinion is. So, Ashish, we'd like to know few capabilities, or maybe in future, are you all looking after, planning on getting some formal entry points, agent discoveries, or RPM, GBM integration soon?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question, and for everyone, I just like to clarify what Google Business Messaging is, because I think names can slightly get confusing because you have business messaging in both the products, right? So Google Business Messaging is a product which enables organic discovery for brands on search, whether it is organic or local search. So if you search for any brand on Google, or you're looking for your favorite store nearby, if you get to see message icon over there, what it leads to is that there is a helpful interface available. Consumers who prefer to have messaging as an interface with their brands, they start engaging with it. The benefit is around better discoverability, more contextual awareness, and stuff around that. And the reason those two products exist separately, I think that's a fair feedback, that why do we have two different products. The reason why we have it is that the starting point is different. The first product, which is Google Business Messages, is with a brand, and over there they discover, in the process of discovery, whether they do it on their own website, on brand's website, or they do it on search. That moment, this product comes up. And the RCS Business Messaging, the starting point is with brand wanting to send out a communication, doing a notification for users as they continue to do that. And I think the use cases which are there, the relevance is slightly different for both the products. So as of today, I think we have two different products which are solving user needs separately. But yeah, so as of now, this is the status.
Oh, thank you for
But that's a great
clarifying.
feedback. I think we can definitely figure out if there is a better alignment on these going ahead.
Sure. It is really nice to know the difference between RCS and GBM. Thank you for explaining that to our audiences as well. And I feel one of the key strengths of RBM is that the users can block all types of communications from brand if the brands spam the end user's inbox. And you'd spoken about this before in the conversation, in the introduction of RCS as well. So RBM ecosystem pans out in India, and all major operators are gearing up. So I'd like to hear your opinion on India commercially going live on RBM across all operators.
So I think let me first take the first question, which is around safety and security, which is a very important factor. So let me highlight few important factors which make RBM a much more secure and safer product, messaging product which is there. And we feel it is the best, most safer, safest product which is out there. So first thing is that any communication which happens, the message always starts with the brand identity. So instead of using any acronym, any mobile number, or any other identifier, the identifier for the brand is the name of the brand and the logo of the brand. And for that, we also ensure that any brand which gets enabled, there is a proper verification which happens before the messaging gets created, right? So that's the first thing. Second, even if a message is sent out, all the messages which go out, customers always have an option of not of blocking that message. If they see that this message is not something that they wanted to interact with, they have an ability to either opt out of the message or go and block that. And we definitely take into account all those feedbacks. If we observe any elements in which there is some kind of a spam behavior being reported, then we definitely take adequate actions to stop that. Now, in terms of the second part of the question, which is on commercial enablement. So as I mentioned, RBM, we are working with the ecosystem quite actively. We have received very healthy interest from all the players in the ecosystem, including all the carriers. So we are quite hopeful of having the service go live. As of now, it's an early partner access program which is enabled. So if any brand wants to try it out, see the uplift, and see for themselves whether they can get 10x or 5x uplift, they're free to do that.
Oh, great. Okay. So now that we are talking about, commercials, I'd like to talk or give you some insights on how our end customers or how the brands can get onboarded with through mobile. So here what happens is generally the sales cycle is first you speak with our sales managers and then they share a form with you. Now this form consists of details for you to create an agent, as Ashish mentioned, talking about agent creation. Then the display name basically that appears is nothing but the agent name that you've provided to Google and that is got verified with them. In addition to that, we also create an agreement with you all, and there is a use case, as Ashish mentioned, that Google is taking good steps or adequate steps to make sure that the right kind of messaging is going out of the platform, because of which we need to share a use case with Google team, and they kind of evaluate what this particular use case is implemented, and then once that particular use case is implemented and verified by Google team is when we can hand over this RCS account or agent to y'all for testing and go live. Mm, we've been talking a lot about agents, so I'd like to also help you understand how what is the go live process for an agent. The very first thing that happens is that as I mentioned before, you need to create an agent, for which we need few details from you all. So we'll give you a form and you can fill up that form and share the form with us. This form would also consist of some, not only the agent details, but it would also mention what your use case is going to be. Uh, in which country you would want to, take this case live, because we'll have to inform Google team to open the routings for that country. Then there'd be an operator verification and an agent approval process, as highlighted before as well by Ashish and me. That once the agent gets approved, the use case gets approved, only then will the account be able to go live and start sending messages on to the end users. Now, now that we are talking about agent creation and getting onboarded with Root Mobile, few key highlights or few guidelines that the brands need to follow is something that I'd like to put my thoughts or lights on. The agent details such as name, brand's business phone number, valid website details, and customer support email details are required during agent creation. Use case of first campaign that are to be shared with the operators for review to ensure legitimacy of your campaign is something that you all need to share with us, and we'll share it with Google in this case. Uh, User consent and permission is imperative to any brand sending or receiving transactional and service related messages. Accordingly, brands take an active opt-ins from users before sending any message to them. In fact, while sending welcome messages, brands need to ensure that they are collecting opt-out as well there. So, talking about how we are ensuring that there is no fraud or spamming, Ashish, we'd like to understand from you, if the user opts in to receiving a regular SMS, simultaneously, are they allowed to receive RBM messages too, as long as that app, their native messaging app, is supporting RCS?
So from product standpoint, our requirement is that the mobile number should have been collected by the brand, and brand should have had access to it directly from the end user. That is very important. And from an opt-in standpoint, if they had taken consent to connect with the users across different channels, in that case, that consent suffices for RBM as a consent as well. And one thing which to note for is that the first message which goes out has to explicitly call out the reason of methodology for user to opt out. In case even after having the opt-in, they don't want to receive that, then that functionality should exist. And if that user definitely opts out, then that request should also be taken care of, right? So we do take care of these guidelines quite seriously.
Okay, all right. So with what we know that land of the laws for SMS, they do not apply to RCS. But however, it is always good to make sure and follow the guidelines that are provided by SMS, because they've been taught very clearly and in a crisp fashion, and you're not supposed to send any messages to users post 9 p.m. until next day 9 a.m. and things like that. So yeah, it's good that we are following these protocols and opt-in, opt-out mechanisms and other guidelines laid out for businesses. Moving on to commercial guidelines. Now, we know, Ashish, that Google has not really rolled out any commercials, or they've not commented on what the commercial structure would look like. But we have a tentative commercial guidelines that we've created, wherein it's there'd be a notification messaging, how you are sending a real time messages to your end customers. We'd basically keep a price on that, and we'd call it as a notification charges. And since RCS also supports a two-way communication, we were thinking maybe a session-based pricing or a conversational message pricing is something that probably we would be thinking as an option. Uh, what do you think? Whether it would be in such a fashion, or you have something other plans laid out in your mind?
Yeah, so I think as I clarified that the commercial operations would be led by some of our partners, right? So we still are not sure what the eventual and that's completely up to them how they determine it. However, from a platform standpoint, I think you rightly pointed out that capability exists for brands to either opt into a notification based conversation, like notification based model, or they can have a conversation based model. And I think it would all depend on the choice of the use cases that they want to enable. If the use cases are more anchored around generating conversations with this user, so for example, if there is a notification which is going out from a logistics company, right, and the use case is just about notifying the user about that delivery, and there's nothing, no other action on that, then possibly a notification based commercial model might make sense. However, if we go a step ahead and the logistics partner not just wants to give the notification, but also wants to collect the feedback from the user, right, and also take some point of view because a three text input is allowed, then in that case they can decide, and maybe a conversational based model might make sense. But this is all tentative. I think from a guideline standpoint this is fine, but yeah, we still needs to be seen how it will get finalized.
Correct. So there've been a lot of questions that at least a lot of brands have been asking us in terms of commercials, and we've not been able to, kind of give any particular answers. So we thought it's better to know from you all what your opinion are. Well, moving on to what or how RML can be your technology partner. So RML has business APIs that basically we've launched on https rbm.rmlconnect.net. So we'll be sharing this deck with you all, and you can feel free to access all the RBM APIs that Root Mobile has created for you, and play around with it, and let us know if you want to explore the option more. Not only this, what we've done is that we've also created an interface from where you could see the analytics of how many messages were submitted, sent, delivered, read by the users, and the messages got failed. And not just this, you could also see more and more insights on how your communication with the chatbot, the user analysis, or maybe how many session messages were sent, how many were communicated with the chatbot. In case you have a contact center capability, you can get insights on that as well. So user analytics and chatbot analytics is also something that Root Mobile will be able to provide. How many text messages, many carousels, rich card, etc. That can be viewed from the dashboard as well.
Diksha, do you have in your platform a roadmap to support for brands to create agents on their own, like a simple GUI based interface? Is that also something that you are working on?
Currently, a very fair ask actually, Ashish, but currently we do not have that capability, and we are that's the next rollout plan that Root Mobile has. So we'll be creating a portal from where the brands could themselves go and create agents for themselves. So it really would be easy for them to kind of operate, and it would not require intervention from Root Mobile's end. So yeah, yes, that's
Got it.
in our roadmap.
Thanks.
Okay. So other than that, the next important thing that we feel is sending messages. So of course, if the brand has capability to integrate APIs, nothing like it, very well, go ahead and feel free to use our APIs integrated with your CRM platforms. Else, if you do not have technology capabilities, not an issue. You can use our dashboard or the interface or the GUI that we have created for sending messages. Every type of communication that is possible via API is something that is possible via dashboard as well. So yes, don't worry, we support both the capability. And we also have created something called as a campaign manager. Currently, it's under beta testing. So yes, we've not added that insights over here on the dashboard. But campaign manager would help you understand the kind of campaigns that you do, the traffic that is being driven from each and every campaigns that is being done, what was the delivery rate and the success rate of the campaigns, and insights on how your campaign performed. what is the ROI, all of that can be, seen and seen and can be taken from, or the insights can be driven from our campaign manager tool. So that's one of the roadmap items that we have planned for. It's in beta phase and will be released soon to people who would be getting on board with this. Now, I have few use cases that we've designed on the basis of what client interactions we've been having, and I'd like to show a video for that too. Now here, we are talking about how RBM is changing the authentication forever. It's basically used with BFS in BFSI sector, but of course, yeah, others can also utilize this capabilities. Uh, we call it as fluid authenticator, a feature that I love the most. So on top of Rich Card, RML has built a product for authentication where we call it as a fluid authenticator. And you might be thinking why we call it fluid. The answer is because your customers do not have to copy the OTP, which is currently sent via SMS, and instead what they do is just click on a button, confirm, and you'd be logged in quickly. So I'd like to show you a video of how we've gone ahead and gone ahead and created this particular use case. Okay, so that's how fluid authenticator looks like on RCS platform. I'd like to move on to the next use case that we have. It's talking about notification as a use case, wherein you can also collect feedback, and you have a quick reply button, so you can click on the button and see the capabilities. So that's one of the use cases that we've tried to showcase to you how you can utilize RCS capabilities. We are open for questions now. One thing that I'd like to, say is that, hey, another poll. Okay, so do you give your insights to the poll and let us know your thoughts over here. Okay. Um, so if you have any questions on pricing plan and a free demo session, you do feel free to contact us on rbm@root mobile. But yes, we are open for your questions and queries. Thank you everyone for bearing with us, and let's begin with the Q&A. How do you ensure RCS bot automation? So, hey, RCS for a bot to be created, we would require a script in a flow from you as to how your bot would be, and for aesthetics and look and feel, we definitely be able to help you, and we'd be able to guide you on how the aesthetics would look like. But yes, a basic idea or an ideation is something that we would require your help. And Root Mobile can definitely create a bot for you and integrate it with the agent that is being created. Hope that answers to your query.
Just to add to that, I think
Yeah,
another way to look at it is for many brands, if they already have a chatbot which is there, right, and which is present on their website, on their app, a lot of brands also want a consistent experience for their chat across different platforms. So in that case, I think there is a way for brands to enable the same chatbot through an API integration for RBM as well, right?
correct.
So one is for creating new bots, but if there is already existing one, it's very much possible to reuse that and extend that to RBM as well.
Thank you for adding on to that. Moving to the next question. Any live use cases? Yes, we have a few live use cases that currently we are enabling. It's in a POC phase. And definitely do let us know if you have any live use cases that you have in your mind, and be happy to help you do a quick POC there as well. Any insights that you'd want to give, Ashish, on the live use cases that are present in Google?
I think one thing which we can share is that we have our success stories for RCS. They are available on jive.com, and you're all free to go, and they extend to different categories. As I mentioned, RCS is part of an open ecosystem. So it was developed in consultation with GSMA and the overall ecosystem community. So even on GSMA, you can go and see there are a lot of case studies, different brands, those who have published it. Of course, from India context, we are still, as I mentioned, we are in early access program, so we are yet to finalize the metrics, because when we look for use cases, not just the look and feel and UI UX, but also the metrics that it has been able to derive, right? So we are in the process of establishing that, and once we have that, we'll be happy to share that with the rest of the community.
Can you please post links pointing to the recent press releases on RCS? Sure, Shravan. Currently, whatever insights we have, we'll try to give it to you. But for us to connect with you, I'd request you to write to rbm@rootmobile.com so that we get your email address, or maybe you share your email address via the chat option as well, and we'd connect back to you on this. Okay. The next question is from again Shravan. Would like to know more. But sure, yeah, do connect with us at rbm@root mobile, and whatever insights we have, we'll definitely be more than happy to share it across with you. Next question says, please give examples of analytics and dashboard and how much configurable are they? So currently, in case of analytics and dashboard that we provide is basically on the number of messages that got delivered uh, as a rich message, and out of them, how many. We also have an option of fallback to SMS. So in case if a user's handset is not enabled with RCS, don't worry. We would definitely send a message as SMS because we have a fallback to SMS policy as well. So insights on how many messages were delivered as richer message and how many got delivered as a fallback SMS is something that we give. In case you have bot, then how many messages were sent to, or how many conversations happened with the bot is something that will be able to help you in the insights on how many users conversed today, how many conversations in totality happened, and things like that. If you wish to explore our dashboard or have a small quick POC with us, definitely we'll be more than happy to help you. Do feel free to write us on rbm@rootmobile.com and we'll connect with you on this. So next question says, can you also provide live agent assistance in RCS? The answer to it is yes. We have a live agent capability, and that is also integrated with RCS. So yes, if in case you have agents at your end and want to utilize RML capability for live agent dashboard, that is definitely possible. For more details, I'd request you to write to rbm@rootmobile, and surely we can discuss on the next steps. Costing approximately. So, Sapna, there is no pricing that at the moment Google team has also highlighted to us. So, commenting on the pricing is very difficult at the moment. However, we request you to write to rbm@rootmobile.com, and then we'll be able to discuss on commercial pricing. Also, when we talk about pricing, it includes not just the messaging cost, but it also includes the bot in case if you have, or if you wish to explore live agent capabilities and things like that. So rather, it's better we get in touch with each other, get to know each other's scope, and then maybe talk about things. I hope that answers to your query. Baba, and this is competition. Right, what's the differentiator? Okay. Could you please help us clarify more as to what you are asking for this? So is it, if it is WhatsApp business account is what you're talking about, then there are two different products, and it's not right to talk about the competition here. The feature sets that are available in WhatsApp versus what is available in RCS are pretty different. Carousels and so many rich cards, like approximately around 10 rich cards is something that you can send. So all these capabilities differ. So it's not really fair to do. What is the difference between RBM and RCS? Our RCS is nothing but rich communication system. This is a protocol between the mobile handsets and the operators. And RBM is nothing but RCS business messaging. So the messaging that you can send using the protocol RCS is something that RBM is. The next question says, RBM is live in how many regions? So as far as regions are concerned, I think maybe Ashish would be would be easier for him to answer about these questions.
Yeah, so RCS is a service which enables business messaging. Now is enabled for almost all countries globally. And if a user has a device which is equipped with messages, then users can have, first of all, P2P messaging, which involves sending rich communication, forming groups right into their messaging, native messaging client, right? For RBM, different markets have their different GTM structures lined up. So we are working on enabling it. They are available in select markets, but yeah, we can share those details later as and when we have updates on that.
Okay, that's lovely to know. Uh, okay, next question is from Lalit. What percent of consumers in India have RCS enabled handsets? So Ashish, again, I think it would be better if you answer to this question. It makes more sense if it comes from the horse's mouths, and it gives a sense of comfort to the brands as well.
Sure. So as I mentioned that we just completed that launch of that product last month. So this service is scaling up very fast. We'll not be able to share the metrics on those numbers, like what's the exact reach. All we can say is that because it is a service which works on the native client, you can understand that the reach will be quite substantial on that, right? But I would also take this opportunity to point out, I think the reason that any brand should choose to start using RBM is essentially on the outcome, right? We have seen references, and there are multiple references where brands get up to 10x, up to 17x higher conversion. So I'm not talking of 17% improvement, but 17 times improvement in terms of click-through rates, right? So if there is a use case which a brand has, where having a 17 times higher click-through rates leads to better advantage, I think it's immaterial of the reach. It's still worth for brands to try it out and see the hypothesis for themselves.
Very well. Thank you for letting us know. And yes, we've also got some insights as to the reach of RCS getting growing day by day rather. So yeah, it's going to be the next big thing is what Root Mobile also feels. Now, Shravan, thank you for sharing your email address. We will definitely get in touch with you with the questions raised by you and try to answer to your queries as much as possible. Next question is again from Shravan. The RCS message are in proprietary format. Is there a standard format given by Google or GSMA? Ashish, would it be okay for you to answer to these questions?
So we have an API which allows brands to configure that. The technology is built on the GSMA ecosystem specifications. But if a brand wants to use it, they will have to use those APIs, and I think they'll have to integrate with Route Mobile to get it enabled, right? So they can work with any messaging partner we have and get that access to that API.
Okay, thank you for answering that. Now, the next question is, can we have POC with Root Mobile? So yes, definitely we can. We are open for towards POC, and we can decide what the timeline of the POC could also be. But for us to, do an POC with you, we'd be more than happy if you could help us with the use case or industry or what agent creation and all those other processes and steps. So to reach out to rbm@Root Mobile, and we'll be more than happy to help you with the process. So that's about it on the Q&A side. Anything that you'd like to say, Ashish, over here to our brands who participated here?
I think thanks everyone for their time. Thanks Diksha for setting this up. It was a good discussion, and I think you very deftly explained the product. RBM is a new product which is there, so we do acknowledge that it will take a while for brands to understand. But at the same point of time, what we've seen is that any brands who try it out, the retention rate on the channel is extremely high, and it is essentially about the metrics that the product is able to deliver, right? So yeah, quite excited about it. Thanks. Let's work together.
Yes, let's work together. And thank you everyone for participating in our webinar today. And thank you, Ashish, for being a part of it. This was really helpful and insightful for all of us.
Pleasure.
We would share this presentation and the deck with you all soon post this webinar. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Take care.
Bye-bye.